All right, guys, welcome aboard. Quick update to the layout. First, we're going to take a look at Google Maps. So we're going to take a look at one of the buildings or the industries that I've been doing here. And it's Royal Plywood. I did a scratch build sort of building out of some styrofoam, not styrofoam, what is it, foam board, and then printed off facades for it. And we'll go over to the layout and take a look at it, but I wanted to take a look at the actual building here. So let's go over to satellite on Google Maps. Here it is, Royal Plywood, and you can see they've got a spur that comes off of here and actually ends up right here. They've got like a loading dock over here, and all this is facilities. Sorry, right behind me. All of this is plywood and all that stuff. Let's take a look at the street view first, or actually let's do 3D view. Here we go. So you take a look, and we're going to spin it around here just so we can take a look at the back side where that spur is. Let me do that one more time. There we go. We even got a looks like a TTX car sitting there getting loaded up. So right there, I know I can do box cars, because that's what's happening in the real world here. And yeah, one rail right here. Obviously, I've got to make it fit into my layout. And I wish I could have this giant building right here, but unfortunately I can't. So we're doing a portion of it. I'm doing a little tiny bit of the building, basically like chop from here off, chop like 1/4 of the building, and that's what I've got. And we're going to make it fit. And what I did was, if we go over to Street View here, we'll zoom down on it. Now the rail line is right behind us right here. Here's the loading dock. There's a door here. I'm assuming there's some more doors underneath that little awning. What I did was I went over to here, and I took a screenshot basically of like this section right here. And then went into, I use Open Office Paint program, whatever drawing program, and I basically just made duplicates of the top and bottom, printed them out, and then I could glue them onto the board. And then one of the other things is I took a screenshot of this right here, and you'll see that when we go over to the layout here in a sec. And I used that. I kind of put it around the other side of the building, but you'll see what it looks like. So that is what I did the other day. Spent like a whole day just kind of putting it together. It's the first time doing a build for, just kind of scratch building it, but I think it came out pretty good. So let's pop over there and take a look. Here's the location of the Plywood Factory. We'll go over there and take a closer look at it, but there's my scratch built building, compressed to fit into the confines of, well, my layout here. Got a lot of the track painted up and all the way to here, and then as you recall from my last video, I was waiting to get turnouts to do the the south side heading towards Huntington Beach here at the end, and then also doing the yard over here. Well, right there's all the turnouts. There's like $180 of turnouts. So let's pop over inside over here and take a quick look at the scratch build. This is going to get changed. This is going to be the lift up. I actually do have hinges. It's going to be one board, hinges on top, and this is just going to flip up like that. Nice and simple, because I'm done ducking underneath that. Oh my goodness. So as you can see, here is Royal Plywood, and came out pretty good for my first attempt at scratch building a building here. I'm trying to adjust that as I go, but yeah, basic box. A little bit of what do you call it, a dock area, and basically just straight printed, a normal quality paint paper, and then glued onto the top there. If in hindsight, I kind of I wish I had put the roof down a little bit. You know, had sort of the wall coming up and the roof's sunken down just a tad. But hey, hindsight. First building. And if you recall on Google Street View there, that's where I got the shots and just sort of duplicated it and made it up here. Let's come around this side. We've got the locomotive over here. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off just because I'm making a racket right here. There we go. Sorry about that. Got a little doorway there for the building. You know, it's not the most, what do you call it? It's not the most detailed right now, but I'm guessing I'm going to have some more detail on it. Got to do a little bit of gluing here still. It's kind of coming off a little bit. Just got some wood in here, just whatever. You know, I had wood lying around just to kind of see how things would look with, stuff in the yard. So I think I'm going to be going, if we take a look at this, I'll zoom out a little bit. So this part here is supposed to be Shasta Beverage. And I think pretty much all of this is going to be the yard. This whole thing is going to be the lumber yard. You know, I don't know how far it's going to go, maybe to here somewhere, to the switches. But this is just a piece of cardboard, you know, thin cardboard that's sitting on there. So I'm guessing it's to be asphalt. We'll have some more structures over here. Little covered roofs things with all the plywood and lumber in them and all that kind of crap. And then, we'll have fencing, maybe a wall or something along here that divides the property from the main line and the runaround over here. And then we've got our Southern Wine and Spirits spur right here. We've got magnets in. Got a magnet in there. And if I pop over here, let me get this guy out of the way. Magnet over here, I should not have put that there. Mistake on my part. And there's another magnet. Let me get that out of the way. Magnet right here. That other magnet right there, I live and learn. Okay, I'm probably going to end up pulling it out, and it's probably going to go right over here. Because, let's see if I can do this. If you take a look at where the coupler is, granted it's getting pulled across, but it's not quite straight. You can see that turn, and right about here, I know it doesn't look it, but right about here is right where is sort of the straightest part between the locomotive and the car. This part actually has more of a curve, even though it looks straighter. When the cars come up this way, right, adjacent to that other magnet, that's probably the straightest part, and then they kind of start curving out that way. So I think I'm going to pull that one out and put it in this spot right here. One of the other things that I was thinking about was, since this is going to be such a big part of the layout, basically, there's like, one, whatever, it's called that a quarter, this is another quarter, or a fifth, let's call it a fifth, that's another fifth, this is another 4/5, 5/5 kind of thing. Having reliable wholesale lumber, am I going to do 2 lumber type yards here? So I'm reevaluating that, and even though I'm sort of basing this on prototype, the end of the line in Huntington Beach here is the lumber yard here. I may switch things up here. I may make this sort of a smaller portion, and I'm actually thinking of taking SoCal Edison over here, which basically currently is just this one spur. But if you take a look at it on Google Maps like I did, it's actually a pretty large facility. They've got rail lines that are actually, a spur that goes into the yard. There's one that splits off, goes into a building and stuff like that. So there's a little bit more to that, which may fit better in an area like this. I don't know. Or maybe over here, I don't know, or over here with a little add-on. So this is still in flux, although I've got, like I said, I've got the turnouts right there. So at some point, I think this week, if it's not too hot, and I can get up early enough when it's still cool, because it's about 100 degrees right now. It's 101. It's currently almost just past 3 o'clock, and it's quite toasty in here. So I'm just doing a quick video here, and then I'm going to head back into the AC. Went to the beach today with my dog, and had some fun jumping around in the water, but I digress. Anyway, so that's the plan for the rest of the week here, which I am off, is going to be maybe doing some of the turnouts here, kind of settling in on how I'm going to arrange the industries, whether SoCal Edison may move to Huntington Beach. We'll call this a prototypical freelance sort of deal, you know, just because the more space here and more interest in not duplicating a lumber yard with, well, a plywood / lumber yard, you know. And then as far as this here, this was actually going to be my road. So this, I was thinking, you know, the road was going to be someplace here. This is a piece of, like, you know, the whatever 1/8 inch foam board. I just kind of sprayed it just to see what it would look like. But I think I'm going to use something a little bit thinner. I use like .04 styrene or something to make the roads. And as you can see, I did color and did do a little bit of, this is actual dirt from my garden, and I didn't cook it, I didn't bake it. This was just sort of a test fit. Nothing's growing in it since it's like 101 degrees outside. Everything's pretty much dead. But I did glue it down just to kind of see how it looked. It comes out a little bit too dark. And if I lift the building up here, let's take a look. You can see where in this area I kind of tried doing a little bit of spray painting just to modulate the color here. This is pretty much what after gluing dirt looks like. What I did was I used some Rust-Oleum camouflage, which is basically like a tan, spray painted on here, which again, note to self, use water-based cans, because you can see what happened to the foam. It sort of melted it a little bit, you know, made little divots and whatnot, which isn't a big deal because it sort of gives it some character, but it's probably going to be covered up with, you know, some sort of asphalt anyway. But so it was a little bit of a test that I did. And yeah, I'm probably not going to use real dirt. I've got a couple of things, got some ballast, and well, I might use a little dirt. We'll see. I got a bag of grout, a very fine unsanded grout that I may mix with the ballast, and then, or actually just use that as a covering. You know, put some paint down, because I actually have some acrylic paint also that I bought, tan, to sort of put the ground cover on, initial color. Put the grout and or ballast, whatever I want to use, mix to cover the ground, and then do some airbrushing for effects. I mean, it looks all right. It's a little bit too dark here, obviously. I want it a little bit lighter there. But I think I'm going to be doing quite a bit of airbrushing to touch things up. So that's why I wanted to test this out, just to see how it came out. Anyway, here's the building. Let's take a closer look at it here. You can see it's just something went flying off of it. Oh, my plywood. I had a couple pieces of plywood. So it's just foam board, basic box, the ramp, super glued together. Printed out sheets just sort of glued in place. A little bit of extra glue needed there. Here's the back side. I didn't put a lot of details in there because it's on the back side. Nobody's going to be seeing it. And then the front side here, which was actually the real thing, it's actually on this side over here in a longer building. And that's a door actually from, I don't know, some other spot that I found. I had to paste it in there just so we have a doorway to go into. Like I said, the plan is to have a road here, sort of a driveway. I know it's tight,
but it's 3 inches here once I get this situated correctly. 3 inches here, 2 inches for a roadway that will come around here to sort of access the back lot and whatnot, and then an inch easement between you know, property and the rail there, the runaround. So that's the update for now. I know I'm kind of babbling on here for a little bit. So expect to have more of an update this week as I'm off and I'm going to be doing some work on the railroad here. So next time, guys, take care. Don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the like button. It helps out, and post any comments you got, whether you like this, you don't like it, you hate it, whatever. Any comments in the videos does help with visibility. Take care, and see you guys next time.